Hello Year 3 and welcome to another week of home learning. This is the explanation video for the week of the 8th of June. I hope you're all well. I've got loads lined up for you this week, so let's get started. Here's the timetable for the week. And as always, this is an optional timetable. We've just broken the work down into days and given you a guideline for the timings so you can work out with your family what will be the best approach to this work for you. Let's have a look at the reading and writing for this week. I've got two great extracts for you for this week. They're called The Chase and The Decider. I'm going to give you a little bit of a taster of each one. So this is the very beginning of the extract of The Chase. Yee-haw! The cry of the herder was loud enough to be heard across the prairie, but the crack of his whip made sure that the humans knew he was coming. Take them to the left. Pounding the ground behind him were a dozen mounted cowbots. Each metal man was painted yellow and had the same fixed expression. They all rode steel horses with legs that moved like pistons. Some of them were swinging lassos around their head. Others were carrying large nets. Some of these were already filling up with disgruntled humans. So you'll have a whole series of activities to do on this extract. You'll need to read it all to the end, and then you've got 2 days worth of questions to answer. The second one, called The Decider, starts like this. It's over, Dr. Magnetor. A scrawny man, dressed head to toe in purple spandex, turned his head slowly. One of his hands was tightly gripping the overhanging rock above his head. The other was inching slowly towards his utility belt. Don't do it, Doctor. I've got you surrounded. Again, enjoy the whole of that extract, and then you've got 2 days worth of activities. And then on the Friday, as always, we like you to do your own independent reading. And if you need to, go to the Oxford Owls website to find some more books at your level. For your writing this week, we're being inspired to write a poem based on a piece of music all about a train. I'd like you to start off by watching the video clip all about the train of the Caipira by Heitor Villa-Lobos. Here's a little extract to whet your appetite.
These are the sounds of a musical machine. But what do you think is making that clattering and heaving, that rattling and wheezing? All aboard!
The next video will then take you through the writing process. It's introduced by Simon Mole, who is a poet himself. And he is going to take you through each stage of the process.
Hello and welcome to 10 Pieces at Home. I'm Simon Mole and I am a poet. Today you are going to be writing a poem about a journey. The piece of music you've just listened to was written by Heitor Villa-Lobos after he had travelled on a train through the hot countryside of Brazil. Your journey will be on a train too, but the train in your poem can take you anywhere you want. Perhaps a place you've been in the past and would love to return to, or somewhere you've only ever seen on the screen that you really want to visit, or even a made up fantasy world you've just created right now. Pause the video and note down where your train is going to take you today. Hit play when you're done.
As he asks you to pause the video, I'd like you to fill in the next box on the sheet. Once you've filled in all the boxes, you can then spend a couple of days reordering your ideas, adding in the ideas, and really polishing and editing your work. And so by the end of the week, you should have a great, simple, fairly short poem that has great impact on the reader. You also have an option at the end of the week to publish your work, illustrate it, or even create a map. We would love to see the outcome of your poem. For grammar, spelling and handwriting this week, your grammar is all about subordinate conjunctions. There's a lesson from the BBC showing you videos, has some interactive clickable games and resources, and also some worksheets for you to complete. Your spellings this week are all about the word family press and vent. You've got the usual PowerPoint to work through, which includes a Skittles game, a little bit like Hangman, where you use the letter guessing to try to see if you can work out what the word might be before you run out of Skittles. You've also got a really interesting slider activity whereby you build your own slider machine and create the words, as well as the usual word searches, look, say, cover, right, check, and of course, the handwriting activity for you to do too. For math this week, we are having a look at fractions. Once again, we're going to be using the BBC Bite Size programmes and the associated activities to support you. On Monday, it's an introduction to fractions. On Tuesday, you're going to be looking at identifying a shaded fraction. On Wednesday, you're going to be looking at unit and non-unit fractions. Basically, if it's a unit fraction, it has a 1 at the top as a numerator. And if it's a non-unit fraction, it'll have a different number at the top as a numerator. Again, work through those activities. On Thursday, you'll be looking at tenths. And on Friday, we have the usual mix of puzzles and challenges for you to work through. As well as these math lessons, carry on with your daily practice of your times tables using Times Tables Rockstars. And don't forget to have a go at Hit the Button to keep your other mental math skills sharp too. We're continuing with our geography skills this week. So we've got 2 activities for you to try, both on Purple Mash. We'd like you to have a go at learning the symbols and recognising the symbols that you find on maps, and all you have to do is play a simple pairing game to see if you can become familiar with those symbols. And the second skill is locating cities within the United Kingdom. You'll find a map with a whole load of arrows on it and then a selection of city names, and you have to drag the correct city name into the correct arrow. You might want to use an atlas or Google Maps to support you. This would be a great one for you to do with the family. Everyone could do it together and see how many of them you can get right. There's 4 pages of labels for you to complete. I know lots of you have been enjoying the science activities we've been setting you. This week's one is all about growing a rainbow, and it looks at capillary action. So you have to shade in the colours of a rainbow at the bottom of a rainbow-shaped piece of paper. A piece of kitchen towel would be good. And then you have to dip the end into the water and watch it spread up the paper. Now you might find the paper goes a little bit soggy, so you'll have to experiment and play around with different types of paper, maybe different types of ink or pens. Don't worry if it doesn't reach all the way around to create a rainbow. Let it dry and you can always colour in the rest yourself, but we'd love to see the results. It's an experiment, it might not work, but you should have some fun watching it grow. For music this week, we'd like you to go back to the video about the train that we used earlier for our poetry writing, and we'd like you to respond in another way. So not just write a poem, but how about you draw a piece of artwork or create some other kind of expressive way of showing the feelings around. It could be a dance, it could be anything you like that can respond to that piece of music. For ICT, we're going back to Purple Mash again, carrying on with our coding. We've got an air traffic control activity for you to have a go at, where you have to follow a series of instructions that get more and more complicated, getting the plane to do different things. You've also got a snail race. So watch the video.
So in this lesson, we're going to program our snails to race each other. And the first stage is to make it that when we click the background, our snail moves forward one step. So I click the background and our snail is moving forward one step. See if you can program that. Best of luck.
And then have a go at creating the different instructions that are needed to get different outcomes for the snail race. Your PSHE this week is all about emotions. Print off and build your emotions wheel. And each day you can set your emotions wheel to show how you're feeling. You'll almost certainly need to change the emotions wheel several times a day. You can even make one for somebody else in your family. It's a really good opportunity to have a discussion about how you're feeling and to build your vocabulary of different types of emotions. For French this week, we're doing a recap of the names of the body parts and the face parts. So it's broken down into two sections. You've got a video for body parts, and then you've got a body to label the parts. And then you've got a video for face parts. And again, we need you to label the face. Well, that's the work again for this week. We can't wait to receive your emails, sharing with us your news, as well as showing us the work you've been doing. All the teachers are now much busier in school. We're going to have to work in school for a lot more days. So if you do email us, please be patient. We'll try to email back to you within 5 days. Have fun with your activities, stay safe, stay happy, look after each other, and we hope to see you again soon.